Welcome back. You're watching Newsx. I'm Uday Pratap Singh. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has attended a special program marking the 350th Martyrdom Anniversary of Shri Guru Tegh Bahadur, the 9th Sikh Guru in Kurukshetra. Addressing the gathering, Prime Minister Modi paid tributes to Guru Tegh Bahadur, calling him the repository of truth, justice and faith. Recalling the atrocities during the Mughal era, Prime Minister Modi said Guru Tegh Bahadur displayed bravery and helped Kashmiri Hindus who were forcibly converted to Islam. He further said Guru Tegh Bahadur never compromised on principles even during Aurangzeb rule, and even dedicated his head in penance to protect religion. Lord Rami Ranger, Chairman British Sikh Association, is joining us live. We also have Ramneek Maan, human rights activist, live with us. Surinder Singh Lali, international affairs expert, also joins the broadcast. Let me make a start with you first, Lord Ranger. What do you make of Prime Minister Modi's message, this Shaheedi Diwas, the message he has sent out to, of course, all Indians and those abroad to the Sikh diaspora from Haryana today?
First of all, every Sikh owes a debt of gratitude to Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji for promoting the teaching and lives of Sikh Gurus and including the Sahibzadas, not only nationally but also internationally. So we owe him a debt of gratitude. And it is very important that Sikh history is taught to the next generation so that they understand how the Sanatani civilization was saved. There was a great Guru between Aurangzeb and the Sanatani civilization. He decided to lay down his life, not for his own community, but for the protection of another community's faith. That is a rare example in history when a faith leader laid down his life, not to protect his faith, but to protect of a fellow community. So therefore, it is very, very important that people should know the history of India. India's history without the Sikh history has no meaning, because without the Sikh history, the unparalleled sacrifices paid by Guru Tegh Bahadur and his son Guru Gobind Singh and his children, the grandchildren, Sahibzadas, and their followers to protect the Sanatani civilization as we enjoy today is very, very important. And not only that, it was his followers who stopped the relentless invasion coming into Khyber Pass through time and time again for looting, plundering, and taking women across to Ghazni. It was Maharaja Ranjit Singh and his general Hari Singh Nalwa who annexed Peshawar and surrounding areas from Afghanistan and built a fort, Jamrod, to stop Afghans coming into India to loot and plunder. As a result, the Indian civilization was saved. So therefore, it is very, very important that people, Sikh Gurus were not just Gurus for the Sikhs, because they never laid down their life for the Sikhs. Guru Tegh Bahadur, Guru Gobind Singh, when he made a brotherhood of Khalsa, it was not just for Sikhs. There were 5 pyaras came from each part of India, symbolizing the unity and oneness of India. One came from Karnataka, one came from Odisha, one came from Gujarat, one UP, and one from Punjab. That just shows the Sikh DNA is an Indian DNA. Nobody can tell you that Sikhs are Sikhs. They have a DNA of every corner of India. So therefore, the Sikh Guru belong to everybody. They gave us a universal faith, the faith to unite and stand up for tyranny and injustice. So therefore, it is very, very important that our next generation should know the price we paid for today's freedom which we enjoy, religious freedom in India, where people are going about their religious values and religious love unhindered. So I think it is a very, very important that Prime Minister Modi has really gone the extra mile for the Sikhs. And I will urge all those people with foreign passport tarnishing the image of Sikh Gurus and their legacy with anti-India activity for their selfish gain to stop and think. They will be gone, but they will be damaging a very serious blow to the patriotism of Sikhs who have been at the forefront of the integrity of India in the defense and in everywhere, even during the time of independence. Maximum Sikhs paid supreme sacrifices, and including if you go to Kalapani, Andaman, you will see maximum Sikhs were sent there and maximum Sikhs went to gallows for the freedom of Mother India. So therefore, I think this is a message for my fellow Sikhs who have been influenced by the ideology of across the borders, who do not like the progress of India. They want to hinder it, and they have found a very weak link among the Sikhs. The Sikhs do not stand for this kind of nonsense.
Absolutely. I'll come back to you. Let me also get in Surinder Lali. Surinder Lali, you were with us, I think, building up to Prime Minister's address. Now you've heard what he said from Kurukshetra. What did you make of the message that the PM sent out to the nation on Shaheedi Diwas? And let me add, not just the nation, but the world.
Thank you, Uday. Uday, in a Hindi exam somewhere in the hinterland, a girl was asked, what is the contribution of Sikhs in India to Sanatan? And she said that had it not been for the Sikhs, I would have been writing this answer in Urdu and not in Hindi, with due respect to all the religions. And I think Kurukshetra is definitely a much bigger message than just Kurukshetra being, next to Delhi. Is that's where, both the Hindu and the Sikh history, mythology cross paths with each other. And had it not been for the Sikhs, I don't think India would have been still 80% a Hindu country, and Sikhs are nothing else, but I often say that a special edition of the Hindus. And the Prime Minister also sent a message to all across the world, and especially to the fringe rogues and the deep states, that we are one. We are one. Do not even think of driving a wedge between us and the Hindus, because we are one, irrespective to what Pakistan or the deep state does. And the beauty of, Guru Tegh Bahadur was that, he's also called the shield of India, Hind ki chadar. He didn't really sacrifice for his own religion. He stood up for the Kashmiri Pandits, and it's very unfortunate that I think it's time that we need somebody who understands the value of Sikhism. Otherwise, that mass exodus of Kashmiri Pandits wouldn't have happened. So it's time again that one of us needs to rise up and emulate the values of what Guru Tegh Bahadur stood for, which is making the supreme sacrifice for the larger interest and betterment of Sanatan. So I think the Prime Minister, time and again, and I think today I'm going to say this, that there is a trust deficit for some reason where the Prime Minister, what he does for the Sikhs are not able to understand, especially in Punjab, right from, to Char Sahibzades Veer Diwas to Guru Nanak's 550 years, to the Hemkund Sahib, to the Kartarpur corridor. So the Prime Minister, with this, and Prime Minister is huge. His movement makes the impact all across the world. So he has driven the message home that do not think of dividing us, especially Punjab being a border state and Sikhs being the sword arm of India. Do not think of dividing us. We might be only less than 2% of the population, but we're 8% in the Indian army. And every time, right from the Mughal era to now, if anybody has tried to look at India in the wrong way, the Sikhs have stood up for it, and we will stood up for it. And I thank the Prime Minister for driving this point home. Thank you, Uday.
Indeed, these are live visuals now coming in from Kurukshetra. The Prime Minister is continuing his visit there. The Prime Minister, of course, is participating in further rituals and functions there on this occasion. Prime Minister Narendra Modi continuing his visit to Kurukshetra. Remember, he's had, of course, a very action-packed day, of course, starting the day out in Ayodhya and now, of course, spending time in Kurukshetra. Of course, it is a very, very important day today, a religiously significant day, because we've had the flag hoisting on the Ram Mandir in Ayodhya, and we've also had, of course, commemoration of this Shaheedi Diwas of Guru Tegh Bahadur ji. Now you can see Prime Minister Modi participating there in an evening aarti in Kurukshetra as well. Ramnik Singh Man, let me draw you in here. Ramnik Singh Man, a lot of lessons can be learnt from Shaheedi, which of course was done to protect Kashmiri Hindus, which was done, of course, to protect the Hindu faith, which was done, of course, as a message which did lead to the ouster eventually of the Mughal dynasty, the decline of the Mughal dynasty. Guru Tegh Bahadur, of course, will be remembered for eternity. And today, members of all faiths, of course, are paying homage to the Sikh Guru. But what is your inference from what Prime Minister Modi said today from Kurukshetra?
तिलक चंजूर राखा प्रभ ताका किन्नु बड़ू कालू में साका. So remembering the ninth Guru, Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib Sache Paatshah, these were the words of the 10th Master, Guru Gobind Sahib Sache Paatshah. See, the thing is, Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib had two names. His first name was Tyagmal, and in the Battle of 1635, Battle of Kartarpur, when the great generals of Mughals, Pande Khan, Kale Khan, Khoje Anwar, they were all chopped off. There were 50-odd thousand Mughals who were chopped off in that war, and that is when he earned his name Tegh Bahadur. Tegh is sword. So Tegh Bahadur, he'd shown the johar of his sword. That is how he earned his second name, Tegh Bahadur, and he sacrificed his life for the sake of country and for the sake of faith. I would beg to disagree slightly with Lord Remy Ranger when he said, for somebody else's faith. You know, we share the common values. We have the same roots. So when, Guru Tegh Bahadur stepped out to protect the rights, the religious rights of Kashmiri Pandits, it was not essentially somebody else's religion, but it was also a shared value, the shared culture, which he stood up for. And I believe what Prime Minister Modi has done for Sikhs over the years is exemplary. We've had a Sikh president, we have a Sikh Prime Minister, we've had Sikh governors, but I don't think anybody has done anything close to the way Prime Minister Modi has brought out the Sikh ethos, the Sikh values, and he is represented not just himself as a devout person towards the Sikh ideology, but also his commitment towards Sikhi was reflected when he committed to the Kartarpur Sahib corridor, the Langa was opened. Then he committed himself for the Anandpur Sahib, for the Hemkund Sahib ropeway, the celebration of Veer Bal Diwas, the celebration of the 550th year of Guru Nanak, 350 Sala of Guru Tegh Bahadur, Guru Gobind Sahib Sache Paatshah, 350 Sala of Guru Tegh Bahadur. So he's done so much over the years, and I believe as Sikhs, we haven't paid back in the same coin to the Prime.
Yes, let me take that back to you, Surinder Lali, on of course also how Guru Tegh Bahadur's life legacy is even relevant to India of today and for Indians today as well.
Uday, the beauty of, as much as I understand Sikhism, and when I, as a geopolitical analyst, when I study what even today, after 300, 400 years of Western, the so-called civilized democracies speak, they all speak of what Sikhism stood for. Being secular, you go to a Gurdwara Sahib, religion is not art. Community service, which is serving people irrespective of their faith. Women empowerment, which is what Nanak Sahib spoke on, ki sokyo manda akhde jit jamme rajan. And about meditation, about working hard, krit karo, naam japo, vand chapo. So it's very, I feel it's an honor for me to be born in India and born, as a Sikh, where it's one of the most updated and the fourth largest religion in the world, with due respect to all the religion. Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib actually stood for being fearlessness, detachment, compassion, meditation and divine, taking the divine name, inner peace and equality. Tell me which spiritual master or which any evolved individual is saying things which the Sikh Gurus, especially Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib, didn't stand for. So I feel that the Prime Minister, as Ramnik ji rightly said, makes a big statement by acknowledging. And in Uday, in Sikhism, we say that we don't choose the turban chooses us. So the Prime Minister during the emergency 1975 and onwards used to wear a turban. We've seen his photographs. So I think he understands the values, because when you wear, these are not just 5 meters on your head. This is the supreme sacrifice for what Sikhism stands for. And the Prime Minister probably understands this best because at the drop of a hat, he ends up going to the Sikh temples. And mind it, we're not even that big a vote bank, and BJP does not even have anything, any success in Punjab. So I think the Prime Minister is obviously giving the right message to all across the people that in India we stand with every community, irrespective of how big a vote bank they are or what percentage of the population you are with it.
Absolutely. Lord Ranger, also, the fact that, this was also a message to the Mughal dynasty at the time and a message against forcible conversion as well. In a previous segment, we were speaking to, the coordinator of the Kashmiri Pandit diaspora across the world, and he was saying almost on a daily basis, Kashmiri Pandits bow their heads even today. And remember what Guru Tegh Bahadur did, because if he didn't do that, they say, they wouldn't have been alive today.
100%. And sad situation is that we still allow people to convert people through inducement or coercion with the promise of paradise and all sorts of gifts. So therefore, it's about time. Converting religion should be a crime. Why should you convert people unless people want to convert themselves? But by systematically, with the help of foreign countries, getting money from overseas, you come and convert people and change the way of life is not acceptable in the present day. And what I want to say, one more thing about Prime Minister Modi is that Sikh, when we left Pakistan, we were allotted land in Uttar Pradesh, Lakhimpur. So we were there at that time. Would you believe not many people knew about Sikhism? Not people knew about what Guru Gobind Singh, Guru Tegh Bahadur, Sahibzada. The person who have put gurus on the map of entire India is Prime Minister Modi. Today, with the help of social media, more and more people have come to know the supreme sacrifices Sikh Guru paid. Although Sikh came from a Hindu religion, but they were modernizers, they were social reformers. As my Laliji said, Guru Nanak Dev Ji was ahead of his time. First of all, he was against conversion. He was against gender inequality. He was against ritual and superstition. He was for respect for religion. He was for respect of every race, color, creed, and everything. And again, above all, he was for working hard and sharing your fortune with less fortunate. Today, I don't know how many million meals are served by Sikh Gurdwaras all over the world. And can you imagine, for some people, this could be the life and death question. I'm in the United Kingdom. Every Gurdwara has a student from, not Sikh student, across the border, across the religion. They come, they eat, and they walk away satisfied, and they can get on with their studies. So therefore, Sikhs were social reformer gurus, and they reformed. And above all, before Guru Gobind Singh, we used to die for India. Now we are ready to fight for India. That is the infusion of courage, valor, Guru Gobind Singh Ji infused in the downtrodden, weak, oppressed community. And finally, I want to say, the Sikh turban was not worn to oppress or to control anybody. It was worn to liberate those who were being oppressed in the name of their religion. So therefore, the Sikh turban is a symbol of freedom, justice, and independence. So therefore, it's a very important turban which my dear friends are wearing with pride. I wish I could also have worn it, but anyway, my circumstances was somewhat different 55 years ago when I came to this country. Things were totally different. But anyway, more and more people are now
very right. Not too late. Not too late. It's not too late.
I know. It will happen. It will happen. But anyway, it's a more serious point today. The Guru Tegh Bahadur's martyrdom is a watershed between,
yes.
the...
let me take that to Ramneek Maan. Ramneek Maan, what is the message you'd like to give to our countrymen on how that the teachings, how the legacy is relevant even for Indians today? What can people of today learn from Guru Tegh Bahadur Shaheedi, and Guru Tegh Bahadur's life and legacy?
So the life and legacy of Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib Sache Pasha, like I had told you, starts with the Battle of Kartarpur 1635, where he had shown the valor of his sword, and he earned his name from Tyagmal to Tegh Bahadur. So it is full of sacrifice, it is full of valor, it is full of bravery, it is full of selflessness. So that is the sort of message that you will come across when you look at the lives of gurus, not just Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib Sache Pacha, but you also look at the life of 6th Pacha, Guru Hargobind Sahib, who fought along with him, his father, in that battle. Then you will find that Miri Piri de Malak, because both the sides, whether it is valor or it was the religious side, the meditation side of Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib Sache Pacha. He was Tyagmal also when he sacrificed himself for the sake of Kashmiri Pandits. He was also Tegh Bahadur when he fought the Battle of Kartarpur. So there are a lot of messages which you can get from the life of Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib, including that of sacrifice and valor.
All right, let me leave it at that. My thanks to all of our guests for joining us on this broadcast, slipping into a short break.